What up, everyone? Let me just say, what's up, Danger? I am the comic outlaw, and with me is Magnus, and we're gonna do we're gonna like shoot from the hill, as wrestlers say. We're gonna do a shoot. We both saw Avengers Endgame about a week ago,
Mm-hmm.
and we had very different ideas on what it was and why.
There'll be different ideas here, same ideas there.
Well, yeah, we
Yeah.
agreed on certain things, but there was other things where, like you liked the movie overall, right? Like,
Yeah, well, I think it's an okay movie. I enjoyed it. It had plenty of good scenes in it. It had great characters in it. The story was not great.
well, it had a fair amount of fan service, but
Yeah, I love me some fan service.
but the fan service did not make sense with the script. I like fan service
yeah.
when it's more like in tune with the script,
Mhm.
and I didn't really feel like that they were leading off into the new Marvel.
Yeah.
Like I heard a lot of hype, and you guys can call me a sexist if you want. You know, I love women, love She-Hulk, love Rogue. I love me some Storm. All powerful women, all strong, beautiful,
Mhm.
beautiful, especially Storm. I would worship at that.
Let's not forget Independent.
Yeah,
They're
I would
independent
worship
women.
at her feet. You know what I'm saying? As the goddess that she is.
Mm-hmm.
But Captain Marvel, I just felt like even after the movie, dude, when you see like, oh yeah, she's supposed to be important. She's supposed to be. I kind of saw her as Mary Sue, or just what. So I can correct this, so I don't hear bitching from the very few people that actually watch this show. A DS Machina.
Oh, I guess we should also mention there's going to be spoilers in this. I mean, we
Okay,
waited, what, 2 weeks
all right.
after the
Now I'm
movie
gonna
came
say
out in
this. Like,
theaters?
I say this over and over again on my show, and I'm really sick of saying this. I'm probably gonna redo the intro just so I can say it on the intro. There will be spoilers.
I
get
don't
sick
think it
of
really
saying
spoiled
this.
much yet. So.
I know, but I get sick of saying it.
Yeah.
Every other person that goes online tries to kiss the fan's ass, and that's the one thing that actually kind of bothers me. Like even online with the Facebook crowd, it's like, oh well, there will be spoilers. If you're watching this show, if you're watching the title that I put up, you know there will be spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay?
A lot of YouTube videos about Endgame came out the first or second day of the movie.
That's why I'm
coming out.
glad that we waited.
And I waited a week. I actually had to backtrack to watch those videos because I'm like, I haven't done it. But anyways, talking about Miss Marvel, you never... Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel.
Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel,
I'm going to call her Miss Marvel. That's how I'm used to her.
Binary. Look it up on Chris Claremont if you don't believe me.
Warbird. That was actually a cool name.
Yeah.
But you did not see the Captain Marvel movie.
I saw enough of it.
Oh, yeah. I saw it. I like the Captain Marvel movie, but in Endgame, I felt her character was completely squandered.
All right, in that movie, how much of it was I was able to predict just by sitting on my lazy ass and telling you?
You predicted half of it very accurately. Probably a quarter, the details were off, but the general idea was right. And then another quarter, you were way off. So that's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, Captain Marvel in Endgame, it seems just like every scene she's in is like, I'm tough, I'm powerful. Everyone's recognizing I'm tough and powerful, but she doesn't really do much. Yeah, she destroyed Thanos' carrier and took out a bunch of guys and almost got his gauntlet off. But as far as actual story, she really didn't do anything. She showed up, there was like, oh, I like her.
That was my thing, like
I guess she got Thanos in a chokehold, but I mean, like, he was already
yeah,
injured.
and she grabbed the Infinity Gauntlet, which is another thing that I will bitch about later on. But I just didn't like how she just showed up, like Tony Stark gives that impassioned speech, like, oh Pepper, this may be my last thing. I have 1 day of oxygen left. I don't know where we're gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
They were on what was the name of the ship? Ferrari?
No, that one was destroyed in the second. Guardians of the Galaxy.
But they replaced it. He named it the same thing.
Oh, he named it. Yeah.
Alyssa Milani. That's what he named it. He named it after Alyssa from Who's the Boss. Boy, she's seen her later. But, the Milano. There we go, the Milano.
Yeah.
They're aboard that, and he gives this impassionate speech like, I don't know if I'm going to make it. I love you, baby. And then all of a sudden, at the moment, at the very, fuck it. At the very moment where, I love you. I don't know if I'm going to live. Captain Marvel shows up. Why couldn't it be the Avengers?
Not even that moment. It was, what's her name? Nebula put him on the chair, and like he's dying. Like he's probably going to be dead in 10 minutes. And then, Captain Marvel's lights bring him back to life.
And there's things I didn't hate about the movie. I did enjoy the relationship between Nebula and Tony.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Nebula, kind of got a little friend that didn't go anywhere, but still, that was cool.
Well, because in the comic books, Gamora, and
that's not unusual.
Gamora, she wore his ass down.
I mean, Tony Stark in the comics get around. He really does. But yeah, and I would have liked it better if there was like a ship behind her, so there's like, got a signal or something like that. But like it's just in space. She so happens to come across this just derelict ship, and after the snap, she's looking for stuff to do. It's just like, all this trouble's going around, So, but like the sheer probability is pretty off. Like once again, if there was a ship, it's just like, got this distress signal, and then she goes off to save.
That's what I'm telling you. Like in this reality, the one that we're in right now, I have more of a chance of the chick from Austin Powers 2, just so you guys know, or Hangover, Heather Graham. I have more of a chance of me waking up in the morning and Heather Graham in the middle of my lap than Captain Marvel finding fucking Tony Stark. No, I'm going to say I have a better chance of Heather Graham and Halle Berry waking up in the middle of my lap than her finding Tony Stark. Mathematicians, count that shit. I'm right.
So wait, where did they fight Thanos?
They fought him on Titan.
Okay, now the Moon Titan?
Okay. It depends on whether or not you read the comics or if you subscribe to Marvel movies.
Okay, because like
Titan was a planet, a whole planet that was located in another part of the universe.
Okay.
It wasn't a moon. It was actually just the planet Titan.
Okay.
So all the his relatives came from Titan.
Yeah.
What was that dude we were talking about? How he manipulates women.
Star Fox.
Yeah, and he rapes a lot of them. He went to trial for that.
Yeah.
See,
if anything, he lets them have sex with him.
Oh yeah, I've seen that fucker. Such a pleasure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he has that amazing hair. But I guess we should get back to Endgame though. But I felt that Captain Marvel, she was underutilized. Like when they were first, when the Avengers were first going into the past, trying to get the stone, stuff like that. That would have been times like, hey, Captain Marvel, we have this crazy plan. Come on over. We could use your help since you're so awesome. And it's like, but I have all these other things to do. It's like, no. What we're doing is going to fix all those problems all at once in a snap. So get over here. But nothing like that. Like she's in it a little bit in the beginning. She's in it a little bit in the end.
I think that actually taints the new movies too. They made her a Diaz Machina. Yeah. They made her one of those like people. I show up at the absolute last minute and I have unlimited power. Mm-hmm. And I want to say this right now because this bothers the fuck out of me. You cannot wish the Infinity Stones away. Look it up in the goddamn Illuminati. True comic book fans know what I'm talking about. Reed Richards had the glove and he tried to wish them away. They tried to wish the stones away, and that's bullshit. It is a fundamental part of the reality. The stones exist as part of the reality. There's other stones in other multiverses that you like. If I have the stones in this world, I cannot use them in another multiverse. That's cool. It's an understand rule, but you cannot wish the stones away. The living tribunal, the most powerful fucker in the goddamn cosmic world, cannot wish them away, but he can make them inert where they didn't work together. There's a fucking difference between that, and that was one of those things that just pissed me off. Oh, I wish them away. That was such a bullshit thing to do.
One thing that they could use to make the story better, because it had time travel with pin particles, quantum realm.
Goddamn pin.
It was ridiculous. What would have been better if Thanos snapped them away, and let's just say he thought they all did, but only 4 of the 5 did, and like the time stone stayed, but like it just, I don't know, teleported somewhere or something like that. And so then the Avengers got the time stone, and then they're trying to use it to somehow get their gems back. And this wouldn't create any sort of million little plot holes that comes up because of all the events of the movie.
The whole pimp particle thing is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say that now. Like, I felt like they took all 22 movies, and they actually talk about this in the movie, and they took Back to the Future too, and because Tony Stark's like, oh well, it's not the same as other movies, but it is. Yeah. It's the same goddamn thing.
Well, Ant-Man actually said that, where it's just like, it is Back to the Future. Like, yeah, like an hour and a half later in the movie when Tony Stark told him, you can't do that.
Someone should be paying them a fat check right about now.
Yeah. And there's a 5-year...
You got a check coming.
Yeah, there's a 5-year skip after the Avengers go in and murder Thanos. It's a big problem that Marvel keeps on murdering all their villains.
Yeah, how are you gonna have like a successful show without villains? That's another thing too. Like every time, dude, like they murder the villain. Like Thanos has been alive constantly through the whole series. He's still alive now. You know what I mean? He's died and come back, but who hasn't died and come back? Even Aunt May died and came back.
Not in the MCU. She didn't die from the snap.
Oh, no, I'm talking about the comic books. Oh yeah, she didn't die from them. But that's the problem, though. I understand that you have to take a certain amount of license when you're making movies. I understand that. I understand that whole thing. I loved Iron Man Part 1. Loved Captain America. Loved the Avengers. Winter Soldier, the shit. Black Panther. I had problems with it because I thought it focused too much on racial stereotypes. Like I'm Latino. Like that'd be like me being the king of some foreign country in Argentina, and then all of a sudden, like this guy, USA, I come from the hood. Like it was so stereotypical. It just like it bugged the hell out of me that
Yeah.
And that was another thing too. All right, I'm gonna address this now. I'm sick of saying spoilers, so you guys can like close your ears and plug your buttholes. Okay. I'm gonna say this: like when the portal opened up, I was watching very closely. Nothing but black people came out of Wakanda, even though the Winter Soldier was there.
Okay, so this is towards the end.
Yeah, even though that's what bothered me, dude. Like, even though they say it's not about race, they focus on race or gender.
Yeah.
Like the women all have their part. And I was like, all right, well that's cool, but it was so forced.
Yeah, I gotta say, when all the women come together, I wouldn't mind that poster. It looked badass. In a battlefield, like, it would be highly improbable where all just the women fighters get together. It's like, we'll help protect you.
It looked badass. I don't know, dude. I'm not gonna admit, like, I love seeing beautiful women, dude. Like, but it looked badass. But it really, like, it was predictable.
Yeah,
and that was
it. Really, you really feel the agenda from it.
You looked up that chick's name. What was her name?
What was it? Something Kennedy?
Yeah,
Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy?
Bitch Kennedy. Like,
okay, who is she? Tell me who she is.
She's the woman that ruined Star Wars.
How did she ruin Star Wars? What are we talking about? Like, is she the director? Like,
George Lucas sort of gave her creative control when they moved on to Disney. And, like, Force Awakens was but she gave Ryan Hurst full control in Last Jedi. And we can say without a doubt, because now is now and that was then, that the series. I don't mind women in charge. I sort of have a turn on for it. But I just didn't like how they made people into idiots.
Mhm.
And thank God she doesn't have the control over Marvel that she does over Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really horrible. Like that's why like I think like she does more damage than good. She's like, oh, we gotta have Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's gonna be the big,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no depth to it.
Yeah.
Like that was the whole problem that I had with the Star Wars stories. Rey was automatically talented.
Mm-hmm.
She could use a lightsaber. She could use the Force. She could do Jedi mind tricks. She can stick it in her bum, dude, and fight better than Kylo Ren. You know, there was no training, no like the thing with Star Wars, dude, is that Luke started off as a beginner
Mm-hmm.
and built himself up. Anakin, same way.
Yeah.
We can Ahsoka. Let's take Ahsoka. Let's do a woman thing so that they don't think I'm sexist.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's take Ahsoka from the Clone Wars. She started from here and she worked her way up. She wasn't just like, you know.
And she also had to grow into her own Jedi. She had to use her agility and her guile, since she's not as strong as some of the other.
That's exactly what I'm worried about. Ren has no personality,
Mhm.
and that's watch the movie. She doesn't. She's just the chosen. You know what I mean? She really has no personality.
Yeah.
As far as you could tell, and I thought she was doing the same thing to Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
which is an insult to the actor
Yeah.
who plays her. You know,
Yeah, because I think Brie Larson does an amazing job with Captain Marvel. I like
oh,
her
dude,
too.
she's got the look, she's got the skill, dude. But still, if there's a woman influence and she's still screwing over the woman as the DX Machina,
Mhm.
it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know,
Anyway.
I would have included her in the movie in the time travel scheme.
Yeah, absolutely.
Period.
But there's good stuff in the movie. I think something that, as far as I can tell online, is an unpopular opinion, but I really like Professor Hulk. Can we talk about Professor Hulk?
Okay, dude. Professor Hulk's great. I think he's
Boom. There
What
it is.
was the name of the actor that played him?
Was that
Mark Ruffalo. I think it's great. I think it fits the storyline.
Mhm.
It fits really well.
Yeah.
It went with Avengers Infinity War, which pisses me off because Infinity Gauntlet was the first run. Infinity War is a bunch of evil clones that come out of nowhere.
Mhm.
Which is a damn insult. I had to hear this kid tell me, oh, well, I read some of the books and they suck more than the comics. I even told him, this is actually a couple nights ago. I was like, well, how much did you read? He's like, I read all of it. I was like, so you read Gauntlet, you read in the real Infinity War, you read Crusade, you read Abyss,
You could
you
skip,
read
you
Thanos
could
Chris
skip
as the
his
prequel.
Crusade. You could skip Crusade.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's Infinity War Abyss even after that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many, like, you read all of it. No, I just read one issue of the Gauntlet.
Yeah. Anyways, I guess I should talk about Infinity War with the MCU and Endgame in comparison to its comic book counterpart. And so, one problem I have is Thanos' motivation. His motivation is driven by effectively logic on why he's doing all of it. It's emotional.
I didn't mind.
Basis.
I didn't
Yeah.
mind that.
Yeah,
actually.
but the thing is, it's hard. It's harder to fix that problem of him, snapping the universe, because it's once again him trying to do a logical choice that this is the absolute conclusion, and so then the heroes effectively have to reverse it, and they don't reverse it by proving him wrong. They don't do that. That would have been a smart thing, but that also would have been difficult writing, which I wouldn't be able to do it because it writes herself in the corner.
That's why in the comics they fixed it immediately. There wasn't no 5 years later.
Yeah, well, in the comic books, it starts with the snap.
Yes.
Thanos wins the very beginning. And the reason he does it is it's harder to explain it in movies, but they absolutely could because, they brought in very powerful characters. They show hints of Celestials that Thanos is in love with Lady Death, the actual entity that is Death in the Marvel Universe. And she's like, I effectively got a quota. Life is doing too good, and I need a bunch of people dead. And then it's like, baby, I love you. How many you want dead? I'll do it for you. It's like, half the universe. Like, baby, I'm on it. And he does it. He gets the gauntlet, snaps a finger, boom, half the universe gone. He's
well,
like,
before that, there was a Jim Starlin thing where he learned about the stones.
yeah.
Like, you gotta read Jim Starlin. I really hate, like, people like, I read one issue of Infinity Gauntlet, and it was sucked. It sucked worse than the movie. I was like, read the whole fucking thing. Like, even read before that with Jim Starlin, like, where they were talking about the Soul Stone, Thanos actually built this big crystal that housed some of the stone. You know, like, he had it in his grasp, he let it go. That's what Thanos' quest was about.
Yeah, because when Thanos got the gauntlet in the comic books, Mistress Death was given the cold shoulder. And so then Thanos like, why aren't you talking to me? I did this for you. I did what you wanted. Why are you mad at me? What did I do wrong? You're not talking to me. And so then he keeps on trying more and more to like to win her love.
He also had
and
what was that dude's name? The Devil?
Mephisto.
Mephisto. Yes, he was kind of his lackey, I guess you could say.
Yeah, because Mephisto wanted the power, but he also wanted to be safe. And Mephisto, he played his part well enough.
He did, and yet he didn't, because he knew that he was the power next to the throne.
Yeah.
You know, which would kind of bother me because he thinks, I don't know, like, there were so many things they didn't do. Like, you can write out Mephisto, that's cool, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But just with the gauntlet itself, like the Eye of Agamotto, that was really just a letdown.
Oh, yeah, that it's just the time stone. Yeah, because they could have just had it in something else. You know, it's like, oh, you know, here's a crystal or something. You know.
And for those who don't know, the Eye of Agamotto is a being that exists outside this realm. Just like Juggernaut's Sidorak Jewel. They're different, quote-unquote, gods that were forced to leave into other realities. Mm-hmm. And it's cool that the Time Gem, I guess, was part of it. Mm-hmm. But it takes away from a major part of who Strange is and the abilities that he uses as far as the Eye of Agamotto.
Yeah.
Any fan that reads Strange will tell you that. But we're not dealing with the people that read the comics. We're dealing with the people that watch the fucking movies.
Yeah.
Which is my whole problem.
Anyways, back to Thanos and the comic books. So, at the very end, Thanos realizes that the reason that Mistress Death is giving cold shoulder is he has surpassed her. If he wanted her to talk to him, all he has to do is will it. He has an Infinity Gauntlet. He controls her, and that's why she's upset with him. He surpassed her, and
yeah, that's why she became submissive to him, and it became the other way around.
Yeah, and Thanos is just like, this is not why I'm doing all this. If you're not happy, baby, I'm not happy. Boom. You know, takes the glove. It's just like, I love you, baby. It's more complicated than that, but that's pretty much how it goes down.
I guess. I mean, the whole story of Lady Death, you know, got twisted. The whole Deadpool comic they made, Deadpool and Thanos, just sucked ass. I mean, like, Deadpool is one of the most, like, people complain about Wolverine. Deadpool, I feel, is one of the most overexposed people in comic books.
Yeah.
Period.
I feel that's another movie, though, but anyways, so, but back to my original point, that the problem with Endgame is that they don't beat his logic. In the comic books, it's he did it all for love, and he gave it all up for love.
And he ended up losing his love. And then he got sloppy, too.
Yeah.
Well, Adam Warlock actually points this out in the comic books, that Thanos always leaves a loophole for him to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Always.
Yeah.
And you kind of find out that Warlock, which you guys don't know who the fuck that is, because you don't read the comic books, because nobody reads
anymore.
Because
they were leaning towards doing it multiple times in the movies, but they just never went there.
That's the sad part, dude. Why didn't they just go there?
You mean, why didn't they make Gold Jesus?
Well, they did Guardians of the Galaxy, dude. At the end, they had that part there.
Yeah. Is that what the next Guardians of the Galaxy movie is going to be? It's going to have Adam Warlock.
Yes.
Or they're going to have the Goddess. Oh, it could be the Goddess.
Well, the first thing, you appear in a Thor comic and you tried carrying Lady Sif away, but... Gee.
Lady Sif, where has she been?
Didn't she get snapped away?
She got snapped away. Yeah, it was confirmed by the director.
Plot device.
And, but at the ending battle scene, she wasn't there.
That's what I'm telling you, dude. I had a very big problem with that. Like a portal opened up, dude, and like a lot of people that died in Wakanda didn't appear. Groot died in Wakanda. All the black people appeared out of one portal. All the white people appeared out of one portal. All the flyers appeared out of one portal. Spider-Man, you know. And I was like, because I looked, remember I was telling you, I looked right at it, and I was like, where's the Winter Soldier? Where's, you know, and like.
Yeah, Groot should have came out of that. Mantis, Drax,
Yeah.
they all should have came out of that portal.
Marvel wants to focus on race, or doesn't say they focus on race, and yet they do.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be like me and a bunch of Mexicans appearing, and a portal appears behind a wall, and we all slip out through a fucking tunnel.
I like Professor Hulk. He is the hero we need.
Oh yeah, dude, and well, the snap too.
Yeah.
Well, because like they drop several hints. Oh well, it's not gamma radiation. It's cosmic. It's. Oh yeah, I love the way he snaps. You know, I love that he tries to bring Black Widow back. That does the damage to his arm. It explains everything really well. Mm-hmm. But the power of the stones are cosmic, not gamma.
Yeah.
The stones are infused with everything that makes the universe, not gamma.
Yeah.
They could have found a very, you know.
I mean, I could see that it's letting off all forms of radiation because it's so powerful and it's everything.
But in the movie, he said gamma.
Yeah. And it's something that didn't need to be mentioned because it's like, I'm the Hulk. I'm going to be the one wearing it. Duh. You know, it's just like, they could just do that. He could have literally said, duh. And everyone like, oh yeah, he's right, he's the Hulk.
And then in other realities, dude, anyone could wear the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Reed Richards had the gauntlet. And the Illuminati, which I keep bringing this up because people keep bitching about it. And he tried willing the stones away and it didn't work. Because they're a fundamental part of the universe.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So, I guess we should talk about their big plan of time travel.
Back to the Future 2.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of Biff as Thanos, and you're actually rooting for Biff in this movie instead of Marty.
Yeah, so you really, really didn't like them going to the past and just like I felt like it was rehashing.
Okay, first
I thought it was cool.
First, the Pimtrons are bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Never in the history of fucking Ant-Man. Yeah, I'm dropping the F-bomb more than once, folks. Cover your ears if you don't like it. Never in the fucking history of Ant-Man have Pym particles been used to do time travel. That I have more of a chance of eating fucking Taco Bell and farting and it's being able to travel through space through those small little molecules.
Yeah.
That, you know, and then what they do, they in the middle of the movie, oh, we're out of Pym things. Let's go further back and steal more.
Yeah.
You know?
Like, that's not going to cause any issues.
Yeah.
On top of all the issues they've already done. And all of the issues they've already done and going further in the past, that would cause more issues, which would that had negated what they had already done because maybe events would have gone differently?
Well, they created several alternate realities. Remember, they captured Loki the first time. Spoilers. He escapes with the fucking Tesseracts. Mm-hmm. And then they go back further and they grab the Tesseracts then. Mm-hmm. They created two alternate realities. Right then there.
Yeah.
How are they going to return two different Tesseracts at the same time?
Yeah.
Like, it literally drove me crazy, like, the continuity problems with this movie.
Yeah.
Back to the Future had or even, like, they even mentioned Hot Tub Time Machine. Hot Tub Time Machine at least had a bow on it, you know, like, at the end. You knew, you know, like, it wasn't, they talk a lot of shit about that movie, but it's a comedy.
Yeah.
Not made to be taken seriously. They even tell you it's bullshit. Mm-hmm. Avengers doesn't really do that, you know.
Yeah.
They want you to be hooked in. They want you to...
They tried a little explanation with the Ancient One, which I loved her being back in it.
Oh, yeah, dude. I love when she took, like, Bruce Banner and...
Yeah.
That was a good part, dude. Like, I'll admit, dude, there are things that I liked.
Yeah. Like I said, the movie had a lot of cool scenes and cool characters that interacted with each other. But the big problem is the story.
Yes, I feel it was very hackneyed.
Yeah, because, like, the Ancient One, she tried to explain, it's like, oh, if you take a stone from our universe, it causes this black stream that goes off to the side.
Well, yeah, dude,
and then
she
he's
basically
like, oh, but if we put it back at the exact same time, no problem.
Yeah, she basically did what Doc Brown did. Instead of a chalkboard, she was using magic.
Yeah.
Like, literally, dude, they copy that from back. I'm telling you, dude, whoever wrote Back to the Future deserves a paycheck. I think it was Simpkins. You deserve a paycheck, buddy. Collect it from Disney. I'm serious, dude. Like, because it was the same thing. Oh, because like Doc Brown, in 1985, when Biff came back, the timeline got screwed, and this is the alternate timeline where Biff is tagging your mother and your father is dead. You know?
Yeah.
It was the same thing. I don't know. I just like, and then you're putting a fundamental part of the universe back into an area where that's the whole problem I had with him, like wishing the stones away, because the stones should still exist. You cannot go back and take.
Yeah. I did like the Avengers time travel suits, the red and white. That looked pretty cool, especially like War Machines, because it's like everyone had like the Ant-Man helmet, but War Machine, chunk, War Machine helmet. You know.
Well, War Machine's awesome, dude, but I didn't like the suits, dude. I was like,
I like them. So I guess if we're gonna keep on talking about scenes that you didn't like and I thought was okay, getting the Soul Stone. How'd they get the Soul Stone? Don't they have to make a sacrifice?
Yeah, I mean Hawkman and Black Widow. I mean the fight was so obvious. You knew, even if you watch the movies, you have red in your ledger. You think you can wipe out so much red, and like you knew that the whole crux of Hawkeye being there is that he wants his family back.
Yeah,
they weren't just gonna kill him, and like they made it so obvious.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, earlier in the movie, Black Widow seemed tired. You know, she's a director of a secret organization that may or may not have been shielded after the collapse of 50% of the world's population gone.
Yeah,
she was tired, while Hawkeye was on a murder spree for vengeance.
Ronin.
Yes. And so it's just like the vengeance character is more interesting than the character who's tired. So it's also kind of another reason to offer, because it's just like, yeah, your story has kind of ended at the moment, so we have no use for you. So the character we have use for, we'll just keep them alive.
Well, even like you could tell when Hawkeye went back to the past, dude, and he picked up that baseball glove.
Mm-hmm.
You knew that he Natasha was not going to let him, sacrifice himself for the kids.
Yeah.
It was just so obvious. Like, had it been Natasha and like Captain America, Natasha and Thor, Natasha and fucking Ant-Man, at least Ant-Man would, or even that. I've lost so much respect for Peter Quill in Infinity War, dude, and like there was nothing to redeem him in this.
Oh yeah, like he was completely controlled by his emotions in Infinity War. That just really messed it up. Like you kind of upset, and then and
that was actually what made me hate Infinity War a little bit, because they made Quill look like a complete dumbass.
I mean, the part where he was struggling to shoot Gamora, like I was actually fine with that part.
But I was fine with that too.
But
dude.
the part where like he's yelling and screaming at Thanos, it's just like, stick to the plan. It's just like, you're about to win. That is your vengeance. Yelling at him, and I think punching him in the face.
And then he got Mantis off her thing because he hit her hand too.
Yeah.
That's really what bothered me, dude. Why couldn't he use that freeze gun and freeze his arm? Right. And then when he had one arm, break him down.
Yeah, or as Planet People mentioned, why didn't Doctor Strange just create one of those teleporter things and lop off his hand? Because they did that with one of his
well, apparently Thanos is immune to certain magics, just like Captain Marvel is immune to everything now, supposedly. Even though in the comics she got manipulated by another being from another dimension, gave birth to him, and then they disappear into another dimension with full permission from the Avengers, I might add. Mm-hmm. And if you don't believe me, it's Avengers 200 motherfuckers. Look it up. I'm getting sick of having to explain and spoon feed things to you. This is my show. If you want your ass kissed, go to another show. Alright? If you want the real, come to me.
I mean, you could always make a club for that.
Oh, you mean like the Vince McMahon Kiss My Ass Club?
God, if that's what you want to do. Because you're not going to kiss their ass.
Dude, Disney would be high on that list.
Yeah.
Especially Star Wars.
other things that we liked about the movies. The ending battle was actually pretty cool.
Yeah, dude, it was alright. It was predictable, but it was good.
Yeah. Super
I
convenient that the van was at no point damaged.
I'm gonna say this now. I hate Thanos' weapon. I have to get that.
Oh, the double sword, but it's not even like a staff with like two ends like
Yeah,
Darth Maul's. No, it's just like this little handle with like these two hulking, evidently vibranium swords.
It wasn't vibranium. I like how the hell is he? I don't know. They never explained that.
Super Uru.
I guess, dude, or just the magical weapon of plot device.
Yeah, that he never used in the past. I mean, Thanos can blast out cosmic energy as hands. Just do that. Just blast everywhere.
That's what I'm saying. That's another thing that bothered me. Whenever he had a weapon, it was a weapon or a cosmic cube. It was something powerful. I mean, damn, the Thanos chopper. You guys know what I'm talking about in his first appearance when they said it was an android, but we all know that it was him. Would have made more sense.
I wouldn't have mind if he came out with just this huge hulking energy bazooka. It's like, boom, boom. It's like, at least that would have just been spectacular to see.
I wouldn't mind if he just came out with a sword, dude, but
Yeah.
the double sword was real cheesy. It was real bulky.
Even like a giant metal club, a battle axe,
And then he shatters Captain America's shield. Oh,
Captain America was able to use Mjolnir.
yeah, we all knew that he was going to do that.
Yeah, they kind of hinted in it in, was it the second Avengers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, even Hydra Cap, the evil version of Captain America, was able to lift that fucking hammer.
Yeah.
And they released that a year before they even did the movie.
But, frankly, I really liked it. I thought it was cool how he used his shield and the hammer.
Oh, no, it was cool.
Ricochet.
He needed half of his shield that was left.
Yeah. But, yeah, and just the scenes with Stormbreaker and then Mjolnir where Thor used it for a little bit and then it's like,
Where they switched off.
Switch you, it's like I get the big one,
Yeah. Well, there were funny scenes, dude, but... Alright, some things that people complain about is Thor turning into the Big Lebowski.
I thought it was funny, and it didn't seem to weaken him, which that was interesting.
Well, it was cool, dude, but the meta jokes after a while just started to stack.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, he had a lot of mental and emotional issues going on, which they didn't have time to deal with. But it would be interesting if if they had an actual end credit scene and it's Thor at one of those lay down chairs with like Doc Samson there, where it's just like, and what do you think about how does that make you feel? And him going through therapy. Thor needs therapy, and alcohol is not the right therapy for him. Not saying he shouldn't drink. I'm just saying that's not the therapy.
I want to say this now. I had a horrible experience in the theater. We had one dude with his feet up, and then the rest smelled like feet. I was literally in the back row, waiting for the credits to end. There was nothing.
Yeah. I have no idea why they decided to do that. I would have been fine if they would have had like a little Stan Lee thing where it's just like, be a true hero, Excelsior, anything.
Even then. But nothing.
I mean,
and this is supposed to be the whole thing that hooks on to the next movies, and they have nothing.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like this. I mean, other than Captain America giving the shield to Falcon, which was really cool.
I actually approve that 100%.
Yeah, could have either gave it to Falcon or Winter Soldier. Both would have been great.
I think Sam had more of the personality to be Captain America than Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and also it just kind of reminds me of when Captain America first met Sam. It was at the Washington Memorial where they're jogging around the that whole thing, and Captain America was like, "On your left," keep on passing him up, and now Captain America isn't passing him up anymore. He's passing it on, and I felt like it was really cool. I love that.
Well, actually, that made sense, but the whole Iron Man death, okay, Thanos had the glove, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just at the end of the movie, right? Except it wasn't built by the the dwarf that was 8 feet tall by Peter Dinklage,
Yeah.
where it looked really
More than 8 feet tall. He was like 12 feet tall. He was huge.
12, 13, whatever it was.
I thought it was a really interesting take on dwarves.
Oh no, it was cool, but instead of that glove, because Thanos didn't have time to develop it, he grabbed the Iron Man glove.
Mm-hmm.
And like I was sitting there going, yeah, this is the part where Iron Man has some fancy program in where he's just gonna fucking lay his glove on the other glove and he's gonna absorb it. Like in the theater, dude, I was even sitting there going, like his last word is like, "Oh, well, I am Iron Man." I knew, dude. Like I sat there and predicted it. I ruined it for those guys in the back row. They couldn't wash their feet. I ruined it for them, and I was happy every step of the way.
Mm-hmm.
I tried as much as I can to ruin the movie for them. It stunk, those people. If you're in the theater, at least have the courtesy to wash your feet.
Or at least not put your feet up on the chair so it's next to somebody else's head.
And then sit by a screaming kid that's 3 years old. I can only handle one or the other. I can either handle extreme body odor or a crying kid. I can't handle both.
And since you're talking about theater experiences, there were a lot of people crying at a few scenes.
Yeah, I got a good laugh out of that.
When Black Widow died, there was a few people jerking some tears. And then, of course, when Iron Man died.
Good for them.
I mean, my eyes didn't get misty. It's just like, I felt like it's like, yeah, sure.
Well, what certain fans do, you're able to predict. It's like watching a Rocky movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you know Rocky's probably going to get his ass kicked towards the middle of the movie. Like in the old ones, not Creed or,
yeah.
I'm talking about the 80s movies. You know he's going to get his ass kicked or something's going to happen. But in the end, Rocky's going to beat the shit out of that dude. I mean, that's just the way it is. It's the way it's always been, So, like, there was really not a whole lot of surprises. And then the whole Nebula thing where, like, somehow Nebula from the past is able to tune into Nebula from the future.
Mm-hmm.
They do that whole converted thing. And I've been hearing this on the net. How did Thanos figure it out? I was like, well, the motherfucker has a big ass starship.
Mm-hmm.
He's been alive for a while. You don't think that he could take some pintrons and fucking back manipulate that shit?
Yeah.
That is all you guys have to offer? I've been watching shows like, that is our biggest complaint. Fuck you.
Yeah. And well, also, Thanos revealed in Infinity War where, it's like, oh yeah, Mr. Stark, you have the same problem as me, intelligence. Like, you know who I am? It's like, I keep track of smart people. And it's just like, it isn't out of the realm of possibility that Thanos was also keeping tabs on Pym.
I think the reason he was keeping track on Stark is because he was the one that actually dropped the bomb.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
he
yeah.
was willing to murder all. I think Thanos respected that.
Yeah.
As an opponent. That's one thing that Thanos respects his enemies.
Are you telling me Thanos is actually the Mandarin?
Sure.
Oh, psych, he's not.
Oh yeah, the real Mandarin is supposedly supposed to come back sooner or later.
I mean, they in the Ant-Man, the first movie, it had a agent of the Ten Rings as one of the people trying to buy the Yellow Jacket costume.
Oh, just so you know,
and I think he ran off with it. I think he actually got it.
So you guys know the Mandarin is not a pussy like in Part 3 where it's like these 10 badass rings that were given to him by an alien ship.
Yeah.
But no, they couldn't do that. They couldn't even give us that. Because it's all about the heroes and not the villains.
So, I guess we could talk about future villains. Okay, so they killed Thanos, which is the big bad of effectively 22 movies. Next big bad, who would you like to see?
Well, let's see. They got rid of the Red Skull.
No, Red Skull's still around. He's not. He's literally not going anywhere.
Oh yeah, he's a floating Nazi.
Well, yes. Don't you like the floating Nazis?
Plus, he didn't like the part. The actor that played him. Look at Natalie Portman in this movie. She just did it for the money. She hated the role. And that's another thing. They did a lot of callbacks. They did a lot of fan service. But you could tell some of these actors were just phoning it in.
Was Natalie Portman in this movie?
Wait, no, the bitch that played Jen Foster. What was her name?
No. Was she in?
Yeah, she was
Endgame?
in the ether moment because fucking Rocket followed her around with a little thing.
Oh, that's
You know when
right.
Thor has that supposed tear jerky moment with his mother.
I like that. Once again, my eyes didn't get misty, but it's just like it's once again, he is traumatized of losing his parents, losing his friends, losing half his people, losing his half his people again, losing his home, losing his eyes, losing the day, lost to Thanos, because he went for the chest and not the head or hand, and so it's just like, and being this battle god, oh, losing his brother also, he's this badass
Finally,
battle god who just effectively he wins the small battles, but he loses the big battles, and it got to him, and he just kept on trying to pretend it didn't, and it just made him feel worse.
I think it was that, and like he never knew defeat the way that he experienced.
Yeah.
And at this point, dude, Asgard was half taken, half of them were dead. They moved on Earth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, what else is a hero to do?
Yeah. And if anything, Thor and Tony should have sat down and talked to each other, because Tony got PTSD. Like, well, at least wasn't a warrior. He was the guy behind the desk, not the guy with the gun on the battlefield. Well, Thor is.
That was
But
another thing. Like, it was Tony's decision, his selfish decision that ended up screwing everyone, even when they brought everyone back.
Mhm.
Now, before I hear bitching on the internet, okay, I want you to picture in your mind. It's 5 years later, right?
Mhm.
You're married to some woman, right?
A
You have a
beautiful
kid.
redhead.
Redhead, blonde. Let's say you're married to Scarlet Witch. She disappears. So you go and get some booty from She-Hulk. After 5 years, you have a kid. What are you going to do when Scarlet Witch pops back in after 5 years?
Oh, well, when you wish everybody back.
Yeah. Even though you've been getting booty and you thought she was dead,
Mhm.
so technically, are you cheating?
Yeah. So, and once again, this is the problem with them not beating Thanos' logic. It's like they're kind of like trying to show, oh, 5 years later, but there's still all these problems, and it's showing like Thanos' logic isn't working, but they haven't proven it's wrong. It's just it hasn't worked yet.
I
And
think
so,
I thought that was a bunch of bullshit. I'm gonna tell you, dude. Like, because they made the houses look a lot worse. Like all these garbage is stacked up here. Who's making the fucking garbage if these people are dead?
Mhm.
That was one scene, dude. Like, this house has garbage. This house garbage. Everything's stacked up. There's still goddamn jobs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, there would still be what 3.5 billion people on Earth,
That's what I'm trying to say.
which is when was the last time we had that many people? Like, what? I'm
Yeah, that's
going to say like
exactly
the
what I'm trying to say, dude.
60s.
There's garbage there. There's garbage there.
I'm
And
gonna take a second and look that up.
who the hell's making all this?
Yeah.
It's like it seemed like it was overpopulated. You know what I mean? When that little kid was cruising on his bike,
Yeah.
it seemed like it was overpopulated than it was underpopulated. What happened? Everyone just skipped out on trash day, and everyone just decided not to. You know,
Yeah.
they even said the infrastructure was still going, crippled, but they were still going. So that means the goddamn trash people were up and running and working. You know,
Yeah.
and it doesn't take that much to take a trash can and put it in the dumpster. You've seen me do it more than once. There are certain things about that where just like okay.
It was around the time of the 1960s that we had 3.5 billion people. So yeah, it would have just knocked us back. What is that? 50 years?
And yeah, and then even in the beginning of the movie, Black Widow is tired as she is. They had every threat under control at that point.
Mhm.
And they were talking to the different kingdoms of people, even kingdoms that didn't get along.
Yeah.
They had actually formed a United Nations of supervillains and heroes.
There were sort of a Illuminati.
Yes.
That's the organization she was in control of. She was director of the Illuminati.
Actually, dude, in this version, I would believe it, even though it's hackneyed as it is.
You,
Missy Doctor Doom.
you know what? Maybe that is the Black Widow prequel. Black Widow prequel is she's the head of the Illuminati.
Yeah, sure. I think there's gonna be a lot of her flexing her ass, but maybe that's just me.
So you were
That's what I've
mentioning
seen so far.
a certain doctor of the
Doom.
Doom variety.
Of course, dude, Doctor Doom. I mean, he's the guy that's gotten dirty the most. Like he's gotten dirty. Like they did him dirty. Okay, most people talk shit about the first Fantastic Four movies.
Mhm.
I sort of liked them.
I oddly enough did not.
They were sort of slow, but they explained a lot better than the Fantastic or Fan Four Tastic or whatever the fuck it was.
Mhm.
It was lame. Yes, okay. Did they screw up Galactus? Yes. But the guy that played Thing
Oh, he did
was on
great,
point.
both as human Ben Grimm as well as the Thing.
And then if you guys look back, Captain America is the Human Torch, but I guess everyone's willing to. I see nothing for that one.
Do you think he would reprise his role as the Human Torch?
Yeah, dude. After monkeys fly out of my penis, I'm sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, Chris Evans is more interested in directing now, and I believe he's actually a popular director in Europe, if that makes some sort of sense, that he does directing in that area.
That was good for him.
Yeah. So, like, he's not interested in being Captain America. Well, he's not really interested in doing much acting right now.
Well, we'll see what happens, dude. Like 10 years down the road, when his money starts running out,
Yeah.
I bet you there's gonna be a Captain America prequel in the 50s.
But if Doctor Doom was a villain in a multi-movie series, how would that play out? Like, what is... I mean, his big goal is to, conquer the Earth. But, like, how would it really play out?
I don't know if it's about conquering the Earth. He just believes that he's the right man for the job.
Because he is the right man for the job. The Panther spirit said it itself.
Yeah, the Panther spirit.
I mean, it's effectively a Earth Elder God.
Yeah, a very primitive Earth Elder God. But there's so many different gods, But for me, dude, the movie just didn't flow right.
Yeah.
You could tell they were ripping off Back to the Future too, even though they were saying... there's a few Scott Lane verses like, that's America's ass, that everyone seems to love.
I like that. I like that a lot because it is America's ass.
Really?
Yes.
You really think that Chris Evans' ass is America's ass?
All right, give me a better example of America's ass.
So many to choose from.
I just need one. Or two, or three. Male, female,
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk could wear an American bikini, and I'd be like, that's America's ass right there. And she fought in the Supreme Court. Captain America.
She-Hulk has done, with the Living Tribunal has done stuff with that, where, yeah, try that for a Supreme Court, the Universal Supreme Court.
Yeah, dude.
Where what the decision is becomes the law of physics. It's just like, wow.
And then you knew that Tony Stark was going to die.
I
did.
thought they were either going to cripple him. Well, then again, Rhodes was crippled also.
It was an interview that Robert Downey Jr. did, like, right before Iron Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think, like, right around there. Like, it was a few years ago, so you guys want to troll me on that. But he said, I think that I don't want to play Iron Man anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But no one else could be Iron Man at this point. I have to, like he basically said, and then they gave him, $20 million more, so I guess,
Yeah.
saw through that.
So what you're telling me is the next Iron Man is Riri? Gonna get ourselves an Iron Woman? An Iron Heart?
Like, Riri was a horrible remake. Like I've told you before, dude, I respect the Wolverine remake when he died, when his daughter took over, Laura, X-23. I respect it. Captain America, dude, when Sam took over, that was a wonderful story, dude. We all knew different Marvel. But there was, like, certain things I really hated, like Amadeus Cho. a Chinese little 12-year-old that suddenly got Bruce Banner's powers, and he's the all-new awesome Hulk that winks at the camera.
Mm.
You know, like Riri Williams, she was there for 6 months, and I know Bendis has black children. It's good for him. What have you done for the Mexicans, Bendis? Besides make confusing fucking stories. No, I'm serious, dude. I get sick of that. Like, oh yeah, I'm a white guy and I feel bad. You know? Where my people are fucking still held in goddamn concentration camps in the United States borders. You know, it bugs the shit out of me that everyone could be like, oh, we're being politically correct, and at the same time not. It's the veneer. And that's what bothered me about the Avengers Endgame. Black people came out of one portal. White people came out of one portal.
They segregated the portals.
And there was a scene, dude, where the women got their whole play at the end. And I was sitting there going, yeah, this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's going to be all the women at one point. Because they've been really trying to push that, you know. And they were trying to push that with Captain Marvel, but they failed so miserably. That's what pisses me off, dude. They pushed Captain Marvel so much. Mm-hmm. She's going to be the next Captain America. She's going to be the one that leads us into the new movies. She's going to be the torch. The torch is passed. Mm-hmm. And where was she in Endgame?
She was off doing more important things around 1,000 other planets.
Yeah, and she said that verbatim. Mm-hmm. And then she shows up at the end as a DS Machina, you know, or a Mary Sue. Yeah,
except not enough. She didn't do it enough. Like, yeah.
Well, she smashed the ship and told off Spider-Man. I mean, what else do you want?
Yeah. Almost got the gauntlet off.
I don't know, dude. Like, for me, dude, I think Endgame rates right there about second Thor movie.
Yeah, it has major pacing issues. There's a lot of slow scenes. There's actually not a lot of fighting in this movie. I mean, they have the fight with Hawkeye and a random Yakuza guy, which that was actually a pretty decent fight. For how
I didn't mind the whole story of Ronin and what happened to him, but like a lot of it was just a bunch of crying.
Yeah. There was the fight between Captain America and Captain America. I like that fight.
Oh yeah,
they should have their shields a little bit longer.
Right there.
Oh yeah, America's ass beating America's ass the way it should be. Of course, there's the ending fight. There was a little bit of a fight with Nebula. I guess I would count.
Oh yeah, you mean when Nebula kills herself and doesn't disappear from reality?
Yeah.
Which proves that this is an alternate timeline. They just screwed everyone else in the other timelines.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it creates multiversal issues, allowing Fox's contracts and licensings to go over there so that they could get X-Men and
Deadpool,
Fantastic Four.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, though, Hulk is still owned by Universal Studios.
And
that's why they won't give him a solo movie.
And I believe Man-Thing and Namor, oddly enough.
Yeah, Namor too. I know Namor for a fact is. I looked that up.
Yeah. But another studio has Man-Thing and She-Hulk. I can't remember who. I don't know why somebody would license out Man-Thing. And by this time, the licenses might come up because they haven't made movies with them.
Well, let me give you an idea how much I despise the movie. After the first hour, I actually walked out. You saw me walk out. Mm-hmm. And I needed some air. You know, I needed like a break from the smell that I was... And I walked out, and literally the true ushers, is that what they're called?
Yes, the ushers, yes.
They were dry humping each other in front of, like, in the area, dude, in the window where you can actually, like, where it's kind of blocked off, but you can see. And, like, the chick's legs are on top of them, like, I went from one show to the other, and they got all pissed off at me. They gave me that evil look, even though I was a customer and I paid them money. I tell you, the theater sucked that we saw it at. And I was like, well, how long does this movie take? He's like, it's 3 hours. I got to watch this for another 2 hours. Like, yeah. And they want me to leave, dude, so they continue to dry hump. I'm like...
Only you get like this from movies. Going out to the movies, you get to see two ushers dry humping each other.
Yeah, dude, it was the highlight of my day.
Oddly enough, that was the highlight of your day. You had a bad day that day. But, yeah, just the ending fight scene was actually really cool. I felt they didn't use enough of the Obsidian
Order. Yeah.
or Obsidian Order. I mean, with them being back, because in Infinity War they weren't authentically a threat. But in there they could barely show them do anything.
When Thanos invaded in another series that no one's ever gonna read, they were a legitimate threat.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But now it's not. Like, it pisses me off, dude. Like how, look, the continuity is just so messed up, dude.
Also, here's another plot hole: is that if Thanos did get the pin particles, was able to go through time, why did he go into the future? Had Nebula's information, could have went
he felt he succeeded at that point. Mm-hmm. I saw that point where he felt that he succeeded. Mm-hmm. He saw himself die, but he died nobly after he accomplished his cause.
Yeah.
So his life was complete at that point.
Yeah.
That's why he went back to see if he could steal them early.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of understood that, but there was just so many.
Well, I mean, he could have went a month in the past in his own time, and then just steal those Infinity Stones. It's just like, that's your problem with time travel. It's just like, oh well, all this stuff's happening over in this time. I'm going to go over to this time, and everyone just racing backwards.
Yeah, that's the whole problem I had with it. It was a time heist,
Yeah. It would have been cool if, like, we're going to send somebody 50 years in the future and survey everything. Let's see if Thanos was right, you know. Okay. And then they could have showed us, like, oh my god, everything's worse. Cool. Everyone is spiteful, everyone's vengeful, and Thanos was wrong, and we have to prove him wrong.
This is what would have been cool. They only had so many pin particles, but they went back in time again in the 70s. They got more particles from Pym, and Iron Man got to have this meeting with his dad. I guess that was a nice moment. They could have did that when he was younger and still alive, you know. And it just felt like a cheat. What if the last of the Pym particles, someone had to sacrifice themselves to be lost in time, and they could only go back to a certain point after they were done?
Yeah. That
would explain the whole Captain America ending, that he had enough for a one-way fucking trip.
Yeah.
He didn't have the option of coming back. Mm-hmm. So that would have made sense. I did this, I dropped with the hammer, I dropped with the stones, and I decided that I'm going to give this woman the dance she deserved.
Yeah.
You know, but they made it a cheat. They gave him the option of coming back, you know. Had he just sacrificed himself like Iron Man, it would have made so much more. But no, we're going back in time. We're getting even more Pym particles, you know, and you know, it cheapened Captain America's ending.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
But I'm happy he got a happy ending. I mean,
someone did.
Yeah, I mean, that really doesn't happen enough to heroes where they get to live a long, happy life.
Hulk didn't get one. Hawkeye sort of got one, even though he lost his best friend. Black Widow didn't definitely get a fucking happy ending, you know.
Yeah.
Don Cheetah's still paralyzed. Oh, sorry, War Machine's still paralyzed. You know.
I mean, he has those little glowy leg things.
Doctor Strange lost the Eye of Agamotto. Who else?
I mean, it was just a time gem, anyways. So.
Oh yeah, even though in real life, real comic book life, that's a whole nother tale for a whole nother time.
Yeah.
But that's what I felt about Endgame, dude. It had too many holes for me. Mm-hmm. After all the hype, after everything, Infinity War sort of made sense. Mm-hmm. It's just like, after everything, dude, it was just a lot of fan service. And I love fan service, but it was just too much where it just didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And, you know, the new Spider-Man movie, dude, is just going to be a one shoot off of that.
Yeah.
Period. And I don't think Robert Downey Jr.'s career is totally done. He might come back as an AI. He might come back as this or that.
That'd be cool if he came back as an AI.
Just like in the comics. But I feel like they could have done a lot better with what they had. Mm-hmm. You know? And I felt they focused a lot more on race and gender. And I felt like it was a waste of Captain Marvel. If she's supposed to be the new person in the universe, she should have been there as a figurehead, taking control of the situation.
Yeah.
As she is the leader of the Avengers, they should have had her there. They talk a lot of shit about bringing women into the fold, and yet the women that came into the fold were there for like 20 minutes. Is a wasted scene.
Yeah.
Not even 20 minutes. The women got together for what, 10 minutes to kick ass, and that was it?
And well, like, in the previous series, a lot of them get snubbed, such as Rescue. I can't think of her name. Pepper Potts.
Yeah, but
I
that's
mean,
what I'm saying, dude.
She wasn't in Civil War at all. Like at the beginning, where it's just like,
Well, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, it just like seemed like a waste of a lot of cameos.
yeah.
That was my problem with Endgame. Do you have anything else you'd like to add to that?
Lady Sif got snubbed so hard, like in Thor Ragnarok. In this movie, even though she got snapped away, why wasn't she there in the ending fight? Like, she would look cool with her sword and shield like this, with all the other women in the pose. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't mind that poster of all the women.
Yeah, that's
in
what I'm saying.
pose.
It was cool, but it was such a waste of a scene. They could have did a whole movie on that. But anyways, that's my fill on it. What about you, Magnus? You done?
Yeah, I'm about done. Over an hour.
And we're saying this is the Comic Outlaw. Catch you on the flip side.
Later.
That's our view. Endgame. We'll see what happens. Yeah.